Wake up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yesterday we had technical difficulties. There was absolutely nothing I could do. I was in the studio trying to fix it, but I'm not IT. I do not have that technical talent in me, so I sat here until the 7 o'clock hour. I tried. I did what I could do. It wasn't able to work, but we were in the building, whether or not we were on air. So I want to let you know that yesterday's guest was here as well. We were talking about our higher and lower selves, what it means to be your highest self, what it means to be, on cloud nine, vibrating at the highest level that one can vibrate on versus vibrating at a lower level. And what that means. What does it mean to vibrate on a lower level, to vibrate on a higher level, to be your true authentic self? What does that actually mean? We were going to have an amazing conversation yesterday. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, but that is going to be rescheduled, and I will bring that to you because it's a conversation that needs to be had. We need to have conversations understanding how to elevate thyself and when you're around negative energy, how do you tune out and tune in and vibrate up? It's a difficult thing to do, and we were going to have a step-by-step guide. Unfortunately, like I said again, I am not IT, so I couldn't make everything work, but we are back. Good rising, good rising. How do you feel? I miss you. I love you. I appreciate you. I don't want to be away from you no more. I don't want to be away. 617-282-0062. Feel free anytime to call in. Unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Girl Trek. I don't know if you guys remember, but we interviewed them a couple months ago. Girl Trek got awards from the White House. The First Lady gave them an award for their initiative to Girl Trek, getting girls out there trekking, whether it's up a mountain, in the yard, on the school, wherever you walk, just get walking. They discuss and talk about during their TED Talk, their recent TED Talk, how important it is to walk, how important our women of color are dropping like flies when it comes to high blood pressure, when it comes to diabetes, when it comes to all of these exercise ailments. And I just got to give it up. We recently did a talk, and everyone is talking about them, even though I feel blessed because I'm like, I see something, it hits my spirit, definitely should interview them. And then like months later, sometimes years later, they pop up on mainstream media, and I'm okay with that. I stay in my lane. I see talent, recognize talent, put it in front of you guys, and a lot of times you guys get it first. Sebastian Cole, you got him first prior to the rest of the world having him. Alessa Cara, before the rest of the world got her. I do my best, baby. I promise you I do my best. And that's exactly why Devin Robinson is going to be here June 25th at the Bruce Boylan Building, Boston Business Builder. We're talking about everything. I can't wait for June 25th. Please make sure you sign up. Please make sure you get your ticket. Because when tickets are gone, there's nothing I can do. And right now, we are getting closer and closer to them tickets out. C-Plan is having the first annual C-Plan Champions Awards. This is honoring family engagement champions. This is for, teachers get award, teacher of the year, teacher of the month, teacher of the century, lifetime achievement teacher award. But what about the parents that bust their behinds and make sure that their child, advocating on their child's behalf, advocating on the behalf of other people's children, just doing the work that is that's invisible, ever honors those that honor others. On June 10th, 2017, C-Plan, the Collaborative Parent Leader Network, if you know a parent that you want to go ahead and say, listen, this person has put on, has done for, I really think this person, this parent needs to be recognized. This event will recognize individuals who have made it their mission to truly embrace the mantra of all means all, partnering with schools and communities and or policymakers in pursuit of equitable education for all Boston children. I am so excited about this event. C-Plan champions are those individuals that share the goal of disrupting the status quo in education to provide every child with a well-rounded, high-quality educational experience, even in the face of various barriers to involvement. Again, this is on the Facebook page. This is on Eventbrite. It's the first annual C-Plan Champions Award, honoring family engagement champions. You'll be able to find it on C-Plan's site. You'll also be able to find it on Eventbrite. You'll be able to find it on my page. I want to remind you, say this probably at the end of the show, but right at the beginning, I wanted to grab it by the horns and say, if you are paying rent, you very likely can afford to buy. If you are paying $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800, $2,200 in rent, baby, you could be a homeowner. You could own your own home. You could start building equity. You don't have to be kicked out and priced out of your neighborhood. You could be a homeowner, baby. Really quickly, in national news, D.C. public school students outscore voucher peers on standardized tests. Some voucher students regress academically compared to those that remain in public school. The District of Columbia has been a laboratory for school choice, where the federal government funds a voucher program to make private education affordable for impoverished students. Again, going back to C-Plan, all means all. It doesn't matter if you live in Roxbury or West Roxbury. Every child in the city of Boston should obtain a minimum standard of greatness from the city of Boston. When we have all of these institutions, when we have all of these hospitals, every single college that resides in the city of Boston pays zero tax. They pay no taxes. The hospitals pay zero taxes. But yet, we have the best of the best in the city, but when it comes to our public school, our children are failing. When it comes to the 156 schools that we have, how many of them are a tier 1 school? How many of them are a tier 3 or a failing school? In the city of Boston, where we are the best of the best, we have the greatest schools, the greatest hospitals, and we pride ourselves on being number 1 for everything in the country. The last thing that our parents should ever have to complain about is our child not having a fair and equitable or affordable education. Here in the District of Columbia, the program started to release Department of Education research on April 27th, and they're saying, listen, these kids are a year behind. I don't know what happened with the school choice. You're giving the kids vouchers, aka, impoverished children, a way to get education, but you're failing the kids. You're failing them. I never believed in the voucher system. We got work to do. Where's Reggie B? Because we got work to do when it comes to this education thing. And I don't even know why it's even a question. Why we're not investing in our number 1 capital as far as the United States is concerned. Investing in our people. Investing in those that are going to make us money. If you make more money, whether it's through a business, whether it's through your job, we take more taxes. Wouldn't they want you educated? Wouldn't they want you to make more money so they could take more from you? Sorry, I might be too common sense, but it just sounds like it makes sense. Philadelphia sues Wells Fargo for allegedly overcharging minority home buyers. The bank, and this is 2017, baby. This is 2017. This isn't the redlining of the 60s. This isn't the gentrification of the 70s. This is 2017, and Philadelphia is suing Wells Fargo for allegedly overcharging minority homeowners. One of the things that I want to say is shout out to Bruce marks in the NACA program because I am connected to NACA, so I get their emails. And one of the emails that I received was, homeowners need your help. Wells Fargo has charged X amount of dollars to people, overcharging, overpricing homeowners. And this wasn't just in Philadelphia. We're talking about Wells Fargo as a whole. If you had a mortgage with Wells Fargo and you were a person of color, you were most likely getting the short end of the stick. And I don't know if you know, but NACA is not a government program. NACA was founded by Bruce Marks, who decided to sit here on people's doorsteps and say, listen, since you think it's okay for you to take away people's funding, since you think it's okay for you to have, the banking industry do what they want, we're going to sit here on your property and disrupt you and bother you and knock on your door and follow you to places where you work, where you're trying to conduct business, and make a bad name for you. You, the president, you, the board members, you, the people taking advantage of the 99%. Yes, you. We are going to do everything in our power to annoy the hell out of you. And banking practices altered because of NACA. The bank disputes the claim and describes itself as fair and responsible as a lender, despite the numerous lawsuits. The federal lawsuit in Philadelphia accuses Wells Fargo of issuing predatory loans to more than 1,000 Black and Latino homebuyers since 2004. The city's lawsuit, not one person, not two people, not a couple people, but the city of Philadelphia, which relies on 6 former Wells Fargo employees, alleges that the bank overcharged minority borrowers for the loans the bank knew or should have known would have ended in foreclosures, unpaid taxes, and one of the things that I think is really, really important, a client of mine, as a real estate agent, a client of mine went ahead and went to a mortgage lender that I approved of. And they approved her for X amount of dollars. And then she went elsewhere and they approved her for a higher amount. I want you to be mindful of when they break those numbers down to you. Because when they break those numbers down to you and they tell you how much you're going to pay in taxes, how much you're going to pay in interest, how much you're going to pay in principal, how much are you paying in insurance, how much are you paying total every month? Make sure you pay attention to those numbers and make sure those numbers are something that you are comfortable with. Because they have no problem approving you for a higher amount. You go out and buy a $475,000 house when you could only afford a $242,000 house. You are setting yourself up for failure. That is not creating generational wealth. And that is the goal. That is the most revolutionary thing you can do, secondary to loving and creating strong families. Knowing your limit and staying below your limit. Creating generational wealth for your children. So when you're dead and gone, your children are not scrambling to figure out life. Because you actually left them something. Thank you, NACA. Boo Wells Fargo. Unfortunately, I have a car loan with them. And I'm trying to get it paid off immediately so I can no longer do business with them. What options do we have? Please tell me a big business that gives out car loans and home loans to minorities, aka majorities, because we are never and have never been a minority. Trump's budget proposal will make severe cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, federal pensions, and prisons. And now that we know, if you don't know, now you know, more Caucasians are on food stamps, Medicaid, and federal pensions, and prison, as far as ownership is concerned. The proposed budget is one of the most drastic in years, and it includes $193 billion in cuts to food stamps and any welfare reform. One of the things that makes me angry about this is because Donald Trump, has no problem, like presidents prior to him, have no problem giving billions of dollars to the war industry, to the militarization of our police, no problem giving money to bombing Syria, no problem giving money to anything that looks like war. War is really expensive. It's very lucrative. To be in the war business, whoo, there is no limit to what we are willing to give when it comes to war. If only we had that mindset when it came to education. If only we had that mindset when it came to health care. If only we had that mindset in investing in our people. Who could the United States be? Trump's blueprint for the 2018 budget out on Tuesday, and the Associated Press reports that those familiar with the plan revealed that it would slash pensions for federal workers and higher contributions towards those with pension benefits. It cuts refundable tax credit and also takes out $193 billion from food stamps, and over the coming decade will cut more than 25% of the current implement eligibility, imposing more work requirements, looking at people's finances a little bit closer. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when it comes to people that have ailments, that are sick, regardless of how much money they pay on their medication, only their gross is that. So, for instance, an auntie that is extremely sick, a good portion of her income goes straight to her. She takes like 17 pills a day. These 17 pills are not free. She has to pay for it. She may have a smaller copay because of the way her insurance is set up, but nonetheless, she's still coming out of pocket. How many of you have aunties, grandmothers, mothers, maybe yourself in these similar situations? Now, your money is tight. You need help when it comes to housing. You need help when it comes to food stamps. You need help when it comes to electric or gas programs that are out there. Those all fall under welfare. $193 billion cut. 25% of the budget for welfare will be cut. Do you know who that is going to affect the most? Our elderly. Our single parents. And you know we got college students on welfare too. All that. I can't even imagine what our country is going to look like in 3 years. If we keep on that slippery slope of we don't care about our most vulnerable. In a second, we're going to start looking like an iceberg more than we are. That 99% is going to be damn near 100%. It's going to be 99.99999% of poverty. And 1%, we about to go into rural times. Y'all ready to garden? Where Killer Mike at? He said, y'all ain't ready for the revolution? Who know how to fish? Who know how to farm? Who know how to shoot a firearm? Y'all ain't ready for a revolution. We need to think smart. Do we have kitchen gardens? Do we have home gardens? Can we pick something out of our garden? Can we feed ourselves if we can't afford the food that's in the grocery store? These are real questions I need you to start asking yourself, because when I look at our current political structure, that is what I see. People that need to start relying on each other a little bit more. People that need to start relying on community a little bit more, because your government don't give a damn about you. And these policies that are currently put in place, these policies that are looking for the House and the Senate to pass, your politicians are not working for you. Those that are lobbying them, those that are getting paid to change their mind about what you told them you want. Your politicians aren't yours. How much is it going to cost to buy my politician back? From the Monsantos to the Pepsis to the Walmarts. How much is it going to cost for me to buy my politician back? That's a real question. I want to give a huge shout out to the former NFL player Myron Rolle. He begins his neurology residency at Harvard. He's already a medical doctor and seeks to merge football and medicine through the practice of brain science. I want to give a huge shout out to that baby because I recently watched Concussion with Will Smith and it made me cry. I cried my eyes out about 5 different times in that movie. I loved Concussion. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Like, I love how he did not quit. He did not quit. He was tenacious. He knew the truth, and nothing was going to stop him from exposing the truth. CTE, the chronic traumatic, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that 18-letter word. But PBS confirmed that 76 out of 79 former players from the NFL tested positive for the degenerative brain disease post-mortem. That means after death. They couldn't do, it's not something that they can do while the players were alive. I'm thinking of the movie, and they used real-life footage from the NFL player that went mad. He left a suicide note for his mom, left a suicide note for his family, shot himself in the chest so he could preserve his brain. They did work on his brain and found that he was suffering from brain damage in the form of CTE. These are real for the players. How many players before we were able to give this a name suffered? Their families suffered. Players that lost their mind. Shout out to you, baby. Thank you for all that you do. Former NFL player Myron Rolle. Harvard welcomes you. Boston welcomes you. We thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Las Vegas cop puts a black man in a deadly chokehold and taser him 7 times. Tashi Farmer, 40 years old, died after Officer Kenneth LaPera, 31 years old, used a neck restraint similar to what the NYPD officer used on Eric Garner in 2014. Police said on Wednesday evening that one Las Vegas cop used a deadly chokehold on a black male after tasing him 7 times before he died over the weekend. This report is 5 days old. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department officer Kenneth LaPera, 31 years old, said that he believed Tashi Farmer, 40, was trying to break into a vehicle when he discharged his taser and placed him in an unapproved rear neck hold for more than a minute. The video, which was shown at a press conference on Wednesday, also appears to show the officer, who is white, firing his stun gun several times before putting Farmer in a neck restraint or in a chokehold. The American Civil Liberties Union of Nevada condemned the officer's use of unapproved chokehold, a move that has been publicly blasted after the tragic 2014 Eric Garner case. Shout out, good rising to all those that are on Facebook, all those that are on YouTube. I do see you. I apologize. I'm trying to get to these news stories. We missed each other yesterday, and there was so much that happened and so much that's going on, and I did not want to miss any moments. But good rising to you all. I love you and I appreciate you. More people are buying guns in Chicago, say police. Also, the demand to own firearms has decreased nationwide, so they say. More people are buying firearms and obtaining ownership paperwork in Chicago. And I want you guys to do the same in Boston. Shout out to Firearmed Fred, 617-293-1011. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Doncor. Doncor recently became an instructor as well. And, I love it. I love it. We need more black instructors because Firearmed Fred was talking about how he is always the only one in those spaces. Shout out to Black Guns Matter. They came to Boston and we had an amazing event. Ton of people came out to get some information on owning a firearm. Do not fall for the stereotypes. Do not fall for the hype. You can't get it unrestricted in Boston. That's a lie. You can. You can and you will if you follow this easy steps. It's you have your amendments protecting you. You have laws protecting you. You can, and if you want, you will be able to obtain an unrestricted firearm license in the city of Boston. Don't listen to what anybody tells you. No, you can't. It's impossible. Contact Firearm Fred. Contact Doncor. We're going to have another conversation when it comes to firearms, because you guys know I'm a Second Amendment sister all day. I believe in my right to own a firearm, to bear arms, for buying firearms and obtaining ownership paperwork in Chicago. Illinois State Police say the number of firearm owner identification applications in Chicago has doubled from about 19,000 in 2014 to nearly 40,000 last year, and it's on pace to surpassing that this year. People are worried about protecting themselves in the Chicago area, said the executive director of Illinois State Rifle Association. People are starting to see the value of a concealed carry license. I hope you guys see the value. I hope you see it now. I hope we don't go through the summers that we've seen in the past. I hope we can go ahead and get our license to carry today. Unfortunately, in the state of Massachusetts, you can only carry from your house to the range, but at least you can keep your gun in your house. We have one of the most asinine laws in the world called the castle law. And I feel like it's ass backwards, because if it's the castle law and it's my castle, why am I running away? Please show me in history where a king ran away from his castle, where a queen ran away from her castle. Where is the prince that left the castle? Don't call it the castle law and tell me I gotta go if somebody breaks in my house. That's dumb. And the fact that none of us have enough common sense to say, don't agree with this, change it. I got the power. Y'all keep giving your damn power away. I can't tell you how much that bothers me. From taxes to politicians to education, we just give our power away. Here, take it. We don't need it. We don't want it. Do what you want with us. Like, are you serious? Do you not know the power you have? Do you not know the power within you? What are you doing to use your power? Because most of us are not. We're going to take a really quick break. It's about power hour time. There's so many news stories that I want to get through. I'm going to see if our guest is prepared to speak. If not, I'll go back after a brief break. I'll go back to talking about some of these news stories that we've missed these last couple of days, not being with each other. Aside from that, be mindful. I know I say that like it's my middle name, but I need every single last one of us to be more mindful, for us to work together, for us to be a unit, for us to be strong, for us to stand up for our neighbors, to fight for our neighbors, to love our neighbors. I don't think we completely and truly understand that there is no one out here ready, willing, nor able to save us. We have all of 3% of politicians that actually give a damn and vote as if they give a damn and move as if they give a damn. The government's not going to save us. We have to save ourselves. And what does that look like? That looks like going back to the village, going back to the family, going back when community meant something. I'm going to tell you a real story when we come back. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. We'll be right back. Good rising, baby. Good rising. Is my internet not working? There it is. We have another minute before we're up.
Listen, make sure you wake up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Lady Luck, and you are now tuned in to Big City, right here on 101.3, with my homegirl, my buddy, my friend, TaylaAndre, Boston's #1 talk show. Keep it locked.
Keep it locked, Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. We talk about the things that mainstream media isn't going to talk about, and we involve you in the conversation. 617-282-0062. If there's anything you want to add, anything that I'm not covering, anything that you want to talk about, please feel free to add your input. I want to hear from you. I talk a lot of time about we. Like there's a bunch of us in the studio working together, but the truth of the matter is that we is us, that we is I, that we is you, that we is whatever it is, whoever inbox me, it's we. The show has nothing to do with me, it's everything to do with us. So don't think for a second that I'm out here on a high horse. I'm not. We are on a high horse. Where would you like to go? What would you like to talk about? 617-282-0062. You can inbox me, TaylaAndre, throw a .com behind that, and you'll find everything TaylaAndre, from real estate to some of the events that I'm a part of or hosting, as well as what is going on in the community. What's going on as far as education is concerned. That is probably the number one that's my heart desire. Education. I remember the education that I didn't receive as a child and what I promised to give to my children. Woosah, woosah, woosah. Really quickly, there is a lot of chatter going on as far as endangered species. There are thousands and thousands of species that are currently endangered. Means we still have some. Endangered means we need your help. Endangered means they're not dead yet. But we have creatures that are currently on our endangered species list that are about to be extinct, which means we will never see them again. We will probably have to clone their DNA, because just like the woolly mammoth, where we find a bone or we find one frozen, but they don't exist today, but we want to play with their DNA. That's what we're going to have to do to elephants in a minute. Elephants. That's what we're going to have to do to certain tigers and turtles and frogs. I believe they said amphibians are one of the fastest growing endangered species on the endangered species list. Nepal is where most of the endangered species reside. And it just blows my mind how we don't, the damn animals, like, without them we can exist. You do know, if all the bees, which are currently on the endangered species list, bees, endangered species because of the pesticides that we use. But yet they're not banned because Monsanto has lobbyists all throughout Washington, all throughout the states across America, making sure that Monsanto has their foot in the FDA, in the government, in your food. Two indigenous brothers who once protected 583,000 acres of native land from drug cartels, both are dead in the rising violence. Brothers Miguel Vasquez Torres and Augustine Vasquez Torres were both shot dead within hours of each other on Saturday. Their deaths followed some sort of altercation at a community meeting they both attended. Miguel was the leader up until a few months ago, and he was tasked with defending native land in Mexico. His brother was in favor of the defense of the territory. do I believe we are endangered species? Bud, we will have to discuss that on another day, unless a caller want to call in and talk about, are we on the endangered species? These farmers that were protecting native land were protecting the native land from the drug cartel, planting poppy seeds and turning them into heroin, and they were shot and killed, and they are not the only ones. I brought this story up because even though it seems as if, or maybe we're just ignorant to the fact, but in South America, there are many freedom fighters. There are many land fighters, fighters. I believe she was in Venezuela who was fighting against dam, and they were going to disrupt native land, and they went ahead and killed her. Like, it's nothing. Take care of the problem. It's nothing in South America for these people to end up missing, and they're not doing anything but fighting for what's right. The government doesn't do anything because the government most likely is part of the problem. How aware are you of your surroundings? How aware are you outside of your little fenced-in yard you call America? What do you know about the world aside from what media tells you? Do you know how many people question me and ask me how many babies did I see with flies in their eyes when I went to Ethiopia? How many people asked me if there were people starving over there? Did you see Feed the Children? I can't tell you the amount of ignorant comments and questions, but it's because we don't know. It's ignorant because we believe whatever we're told. But if I told you about the beautiful, lush, green mountains, if I told you about the beautiful waters, if I told you about the amount of love Ethiopians give each other, the men look like they're gay. I'll say it. The men are all over each other. And I'm like, yo, these Negroes are disgusting. Like, in public? Really? No one's going to lash you? No one's going to hang you? Like, this is overly PDA, public display of affection on 1,000 degrees. And it was explained to me by several men that this is my brother. I love my brother. We're not gay. We don't believe in that. Like, there's no such thing. I swear, like, there's no such thing as being gay in Ethiopia. At all. Nowhere close. But they hug each other. When they see each other, they embrace each other. They kiss each other on the forehead. They hold hands. They laugh. They embrace each other like it's okay for women to embrace each other in this country. And it's all out of love. It's all out of respect. It's all out of salamna, which is peace. Which was confusing to me because I was like, hold on, isn't this a Christian country? This was like the founding of the Christianity. How? Salamna. Everything is peace. You meet somebody, it's peace. You embrace somebody, it's peace. Someone calls you, it's peace. I love it. I love it. Ethiopia was absolutely amazing. You guys, I was back. I'm back for a week. I've been back for like 9 days. I can't tell you how bad I want to go. I want to go back home. I feel like a stranger in this land. After being in Africa, I feel like a stranger in this land. Like I'm not supposed to be here. I always felt a little odd. I always felt a little awkward. But after leaving this country and seeing what the rest of the world has to offer, seeing what Africa, just a little itty-bitty taste. I got 0.1% of a taste of what Africa is, and I want to go home. I want to go back to the love. I want to go back to the freedom. I want to go back to where, we don't rely on someone else to take care of us. We take care of each other. Ethiopians eat together. Not one Ethiopian eats by themselves. They eat together, they love together, they pray together, they drink tea together. Coffee is a ceremony. Coffee isn't, let me hurry up and drink this about my day. Coffee is a ceremony where they take time to roast the beans. Here, smell it. Smell it. Take in the aroma. No one is ever in a rush. Ever. Like, I don't care how late you are. What do you mean late? When we get there is when we get there. There's no late. That's why I felt so at home. I wasn't late. I was on time. I was early, actually. I was always early. Because no one's ever in a rush. Every life happens, things happen, everything happens for a reason. When we get there is when we're supposed to get there. I can't tell you how at home I was. Like, hey, this is why I act the way I do in America. Because my soul, my DNA already resonates at home. It's been a week, and I promise I feel like I've been here for 6 months. It's been long. It's been drawn out. I'm ready to go home. If you have never traveled outside of America, even Costa Rica, when the kids and I went to Costa Rica for Christmas, we went ahead and relearned the Kwanzaa principles because we only recognize them 1 week out of the whole year. If we could adopt them and utilize the Kwanzaa principles every single day, who could we be as a people? What would we accomplish? Airports would we own? How many politicians could we buy back? Someone hit me up the other day and was like, Tayla, I need 2 more sessions of Ethiopia. Like, I need you to take us back. I need you to explain to us what it's like over there. Because we have this perception of those babies with big bellies, with flies in their eyes. Those mothers with skin and bones. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. The food, the culture, the music, the joy, the salamna, the peace. It was weird to me to see Christians, inshallah, which means in God's name. How are we speaking, the way that the Islam speak? That's like Islamic, right? It's like, nah, inshallah, in God's name. In God's will. It will happen in God's will, inshallah. It blew my mind. Our country has us so brainwashed of what's right and what's wrong. We are ass backwards. We are so confused. We have no idea. We are lost, baby. We are lost. We are, what was it? Lost in the promised year for 40 years. I don't know how long it's been since we've been lost in the promised land. I don't know how many thousands of years that's been. But I'm trying to tell you, we still lost. I don't know who said we were found. I don't know who told you that lie. Because we are still lost. Hopefully we'll be found, inshallah. I can't tell you, I loved it. I love the food. I love the experience. I love the wine. Oh my gosh, it's like orange juice. The wine will knock you off your feet. It like Jesus turned water to wine. If it was that kind of wine, oh Lord. It was in the way they drink it out of these little bottles. I have so many videos, but it's like I have to sit down with you and like I feel like I have to go through the motions. I can't just post the video. Like I have to talk you through what I was seeing, what I was feeling, the atmosphere at that time. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, it is like New York. It never shuts down. It never shuts down. I love the fact that they had children as young, like they had babies working, 6-year-olds that were shining shoes. And when I say shining shoes, I don't mean hard bottoms. Your shoes are shiny, sir. I mean, shine your sandals, shine your feet, wash your toes. For real. For real, for real. Everybody got a shoe shine. The boys, the lost boys, and seriously, the lost boys, no parents, just them, holding each other down. starting fires, sleeping around a campfire, sleeping on dirt, sleeping on cement. The Lost Boys. Waking up at the crack of dawn while the Muslims, there are Muslims there, are praying. It's one of the most beautiful things I've never heard in this country. They pray for 2 hours straight. It sounds like they're singing. It's resonating and vibrating through the streets. You can hear it from wherever you are. If you are in Addis, you are going to hear somebody praying. After the Muslims pray, that's when the Christians pray. They pray for an hour and a half to 2 hours. You hear singing for 4 hours. It's one of the most beautiful sounds you Americans will never hear if you don't leave this country. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to use those practices in your everyday life, but to at least experience it. To at least see it for yourself. It's a beautiful thing that opens your heart, opens your mind, opens your soul, makes you question everything you were ever told, makes you question everything you supposed to believe or you supposedly believe. And you wonder why you have this disconnect to everything that society tells you to believe in. And you're like, it doesn't feel right, but you can't explain it. Once you leave America, once you leave this country, you understand why you don't feel at ease or at rest, or why there's something pulling you, nagging at you, that something's not right, but you can't put it into words. There's no way for you to describe it, but it just does not feel right. You leave this country, you start seeing how other people eat. You start seeing what real food looks like. You start understanding that a lemon doesn't exist. You can go anywhere in the world outside of America, ask for a lemon, they gonna give you a lime, and you're like, what the hell? Lemons don't exist outside of America, I swear. I went to Ethiopia, asked for a lemon, they gave me a green. They said, this is lemon. No, this is a lime. No, this is a lemon. Went to Costa Rica, asked for lemon, they gave me a lime. This is a lime. It's a lemon. And oranges look like lemons. Fish tastes completely different. Chicken is so sweet. And I had sheep. It was one of the best meats I've ever ate. The only thing I don't like about sheep is like when you burp and you have like that aftertaste. That was the only thing I didn't like. But the flavor of the sheep was amazing. The texture of the sheep was amazing. We picked the sheep. We had the butcher come and kill the sheep. We watched him drain it, skin it, chop it up. We cut it up into little pieces, put onions, and we didn't use any oil. We used the actual fat as oil. Put it in a huge, what looked like a wok on an open flame outside. Dinner served. It put me in a completely different mindset when it came to food. When it came to the meats I ate, I now feel a discomfort. I now feel like, I don't know where this meat came from. I don't think I should buy this frozen meat. It put me in this mode where I want to watch my food be killed. Whatever I consume, whatever I eat, I want to watch it be picked. I want to see it, on the vine. I want to buy it from the woman at the market that grew that tomato, that grew that onion, that grew that piece of garlic. I want to get it out of the hands of the woman or the man or the children that put their love and their energy into this food for me. I want to go back to Mercato. I want to go back to where beans and rice, where beans and rice and lentils and seasonings and spices and peppers, where all that were in bags that came up to my hip. I want the authentic. I want the fresh. I want the love. I swear I've been back for 7 days and it feels like an eternity. I'm ready to go back home. Save your pennies, as Nana says. If you have never been outside of America, please make that your Christmas goal. Please make that your Kwanzaa goal. Please make that your birthday goal. Put your pennies aside. If you're too scared to bring your children the first time, then go by yourself that second time. I guarantee you're going to want to bring your children each and every time so they can see what life is like outside of this country, so they can understand hard work, dedication, so they can understand that how easy they have it here in America. So you can understand how easy you have it here in America, where you don't know what hard work looks like. That's why foreigners can come in this country and build a business and build generational wealth, because they know what it's like not to have a damn thing, and to even begin to have a little bit of help. For somebody to give them 10 fingers and say, here goes a little lift up, they take so much advantage of that and create something that can last for generations and generations and generations. We as Black Americans need to understand the position we are currently in, the power that we have, and utilize the strengths and the talents. We have far too many talented young men, young women. These babies today are entrepreneurs as soon as they come out of the womb. What are we doing to cultivate that? Most of us, nothing. Currently have a call on the line, 617-282-0062. Talk to me, baby. Call me. Whatever you don't have to agree with me, but you can call. 617-282-0062. Good rise and call you live.
Good rising, Taylor. This is the thing I've been trying to say in this radio. If everyone take a minute and then save their money, go outside the United States, and they'll explore what's life. When they come back, they'll work 10 times harder to get things like for hungry. Especially you went to, where did you go again? You went to Africa, right?
I went to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Well, it's South of Africa, right? So, are you doing that experience? You just calling, you coming back? Because I did travel, I need, hello?
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm here.
Yeah. I'm trying to plan a trip to Nigeria. I'm trying to do it within next year to me and my family to go down there and visit my, my friends and family that lives there. This is one thing that, I've never been to Africa. This is one thing I want to explore to go there. I'm doing one of the chicks because I visit all over the world already. Now it's like for me to go visit where my ancestors came from. I tell everyone that if they could take all African Americans from this country and then ship them back to Africa and let them explore them, when they come back, they'll change. Their life will change. Period. They'll be, things will be different for them in America. Like they'll work hard, to accomplish things here. What vote means, they'll take this serious when it's time to vote. They also will take their kids serious. When it's school. All that thing. I think that's what Nubian said it a while back. He said that he'll take all African Americans, ship them back to Africa for about 2 years, and then bring them back. You'll see the whole United States will change.
The truth of the matter is, it doesn't even have to be a complete 2 years. So from somebody who actually traveled, I feel like my third eye is open. I feel like my third eye opened all the way when I left here and went there. But even if you have zero consciousness, you're hard head, you have no respect for yourself, you have no understanding of self, I think it'll take 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is all you need. 2 years, you'll come back a real foreigner. You leave for 2 years, but 2 weeks, you'll come back a completely different person.
But the problem is this: you want them to feel how it is out there. Like 2 weeks, they're gonna have money to export the tourists. But you want them to feel that how it is, like what is it like not having food? What is it like you have to work all day to have this amount of money? That's why I was saying 2 years. Have a good one, Taylor. I'm gonna keep listening to you, okay?
Thank you. Peace and love, Salamna. as the Ethiopians would say, which is nothing more but peace. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day. I can go on and stand on a soapbox and rant and rave about Ethiopia and Africa and how beautiful it was and how amazing it was and how it's only been 10 days I've been back and I want to go back home because I don't want to be here no more. But, I'm from here and I got to make a way so my children and I can go back and forth consistently and constantly, and I'm not ready. I'm not. I don't like it here no more. Really quickly, in other news, our research speaker series featuring Karen Abrams is today on the 8th floor of City Hall in room 801 from 3:30 to 4:30. If you can attend, please attend. They are talking about race relations and the role government has in media. If you have an opinion on this, please come out. 3:30 to 4:30. They are asking if you are coming to arrive at 3:20 so they can begin it right at 3:30. Thailand is looking to prosecute anyone that even looks at material considered insulting to the monarchy, in extension to strict internet censorship after the king was pictured in a crop top. They're saying, listen, if you even look, if you turn your head and look at this picture, we will prosecute you. And even though they say prosecute, some of the reports that I read have went as far as they will kill you, damn near on the spot. The country's technology crime suppression division tasked with policing the internet. This comes after the Thai king was pictured wearing a crop top in a German shopping center. The country treated... dyslexia is so real. The country threatened to sue Facebook if it did not remove the image from the site. It was previously warned liking or sharing insulting photos could lead to prosecution, and now they have gone so far as if you even look at insulting pictures, that's enough. If it pops up on your Facebook feed and you looked at it and we find out about it, we can and we will prosecute you. 617-282-0062. We have another caller on the line. Good rising, caller, you're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good rising. How are you?
I'm fine, Tayla. How you doing?
I'm super fantastic. This sounds like prestige cuisine. Is this Johnson?
That is right. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Johnson? What's going on?
Everything's okay. I was listening to you this morning. I like the way you are enlightening the people about your trip to Africa.
Hold on. Do me a favor. Shut off your radio because we have an echo. So shut off the radio so we can hear you talk.
Yeah, I shut it off already. I was listening to you this morning. I like the way you are enlightening the people about the African trip.
I loved it, Johnson. I told you while I was there, like, I was in love. I love the way that inshallah, how they say, like, God's willing, salamna, like, peace. Like, everything is just love. The way that the men love on each other, the way that everyone holds hands. You could hold, like, 7 people's hands at the same time. It's just love. People aren't jealous. People don't hate. Like, everybody loves on each other.
Yeah, that is true, though. That is a good enlightenment for a lot of people, so that they will know how to live. If they go outside the country, they come back, they will now experience different things, the way people live, the way people talk, and the way people react to each other. You understand me? So that is a good enlightenment. So how are you doing?
I'm very well. I have to finish this show, but I'm good.
Okay. So I just want to say hi also, and just to give a little bit word about Africa, the way we live and the way we do things. It's totally different from here, and we appreciate people well, and we show love to each other. We try to help each other one way or the other. You understand? It's not all about yourself, you understand?
Absolutely. It's all about teamwork. It's all about the village. How can I help you? How can you help me? How can we help each other? Johnson, I want to help you by telling everybody to come to Prestige Cuisine for breakfast today. Go get you some saltfish and ackee. Go get you some dumplings, some festival, some amazing jerk chicken, some my favorite fish. fish, the red snapper. What else do you have?
We have African dishes here, goosey soup or bolo soup, vegetable soup, pounded yam, and so just fried rice. We have jollof rice and we have fried rice.
And I'm absolutely in love with jollof rice. It looks like Spanish rice. It's orange and it looks amazing. But once you taste it, you'll instantly fall in love. Johnson, I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. What's the address?
924 Mountain Street.
They are open now, and they close on the late night, and they're probably, if you go to Kay's Oasis, you probably got a plate from Johnson. The beef patties are good. The juices are amazing. The ginger, what's my favorite one? Ginger sorrel?
The sorrel ginger beer.
So good. Make sure you visit. They're open now, Prestige Cuisine, and they will also be serving food June 25th at the Bruce Bowling Building. So, we partnered up with Prestige Cuisine because they completely understand. It's the African way. You help me, I help you. Let's grow together.
Yeah, this is it. So tell them to come back on the 25th of June, okay?
Okay, Johnson.
Thanks a lot for everything. I love you, man.
I love you too. Have an amazing day. Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with TaylaAndre. That was Johnson, the owner of Prestige Cuisine. This past Saturday, we had Prestige Cuisine's food at the Go Fund Yourself event at the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. And people said, I don't even eat West Indian food, but this is really good. What is that rice? That's Spanish rice? I said, no, baby, that's jollof rice. It's so good. I love it. You'll love it. 924 Morton Street. Go stop by and let me know how you like it. Let me know what you like. Maybe you don't like it. Tell me that too. I'm sorry. Asari is messaging me right now. It's okay, Mama. Go do what you have to do. In other news, graduating Bowie State senior Richard Collins III was killed by a member of a hate group. An alt-right member stabbed Collins as he waited for an Uber. One of the things that I want to say is I want to give a huge shout out to the university. They went ahead and put his I can't even call the name right now, but his graduation, you know what I'm talking about. I want to say cloak. I know it's not a cloak. I have mine hanging in my closet. Can't even say the words right now. But his graduation cap and gown. Thank you, baby, for sending that to me. I appreciate that. They put his cap and gown on the chair in the front row and left that seat vacant because he was unable to be in attendance because they took his life. We live in my heart hurts for his mother. I want to send peace and blessings to his family because they are dealing and coping with something that is so difficult to understand. As everybody is, enjoying commencement parties and having fun with their friends, their family is getting ready to bury this young man. Richard Collins III was 23 years old. He was literally just days away from graduating from Bowie State University when he was killed in what authorities are calling a possible hate crime. It's not possible. It's very much real because if a little black boy killed a little white boy and he was part of the Black Panther Party, what's the number one thing that they were going to say? It was a hate crime. And not a possible hate crime, not allegedly a hate crime. They would outright say it. This is why we need control of our media. This is why we need control of what we ingest as far as what is truth and what is BS. Because we'll read something and we'll take it at face value, not reading between the lines and understanding the framework and how it's supposed to mess with our psyche. According to reports, the school decided to honor Collins at Tuesday's graduation by holding a moment of silence during the commencement and draped his cap and gown over which would have been his seat in honor to and left empty to honor him. So thank you, Bowie State, because I feel like that is an honor. I think that is a blessing, and I appreciate them taking out that time to honor that young man. An Italian neurosurgeon, Dr. Sergio Cadavera, has announced that Chinese patient will receive the world's first head transplant in December of 2017 if they can receive the funding and get approval. They told reports that India Technology and a team is going to perform surgery, and they are ready. It's meaning funding, or in need of funding and in need of approval, but everything else is ready, set, go. So the world's first human head transplant is scheduled again for December 2017. Doctors have been planning this for over 30 years. Don't think for 5 seconds that this is the first time they did it. This is the first time they've done it, quote unquote, ethically, quote unquote, with approval, quote unquote, with proper funding. Not in the black market, but in mainstream media for you guys to know. It will cost $30 million. They will have 150 doctors and nurses, and it will take 34 hours. And they've been waiting for this day for 30 years. So they performed a successful head surgery on a monkey, but they euthanized the monkey for ethical reasons. So my question is, if you went ahead and killed the damn monkey for ethical reasons, are you going to kill this little Chinese man after you do his head transplant for ethical reasons? What was the ethical reason that you killed the monkey, but you finna let this man live? Please explain it to me. I'm listening. Not explain it to me. Because that's how ignorant it sounds, that I can't even speak proper English. It doesn't make sense to me how you can just use these animals. We use animals like guinea pigs. They don't have to sign informed consent. We know for a fact they cry when family members die. If they have emotions, can we not respect them enough not to kill them, not to throw them in cages, not to be like, hey world, you want to see the monkeys? Want to see the elephants? I hate to say this, but I'm really glad that the poacher recently got killed after shooting and killing an elephant, because he's a poacher. What else do poachers do? An elephant fell on his dumb ass. I'm glad, and he died. I'm glad. There's not many times you'll hear me talk about someone died and TaylaAndre is happy about it, or someone died and TaylaAndre isn't crying about it. But when you think it's okay, because elephants right now are on the endangered species list, you just shot and killed one, and then when it fell on you, you want to cry, talking about how sad is it? I'm sorry, boo-hoo, baby. You should have thought about that before you decided to kill an animal on the endangered species list. Karma. I can't fake it. I can't pretend. I'm going to tell you how I feel, even if it's not what society says is right to feel. I felt like karma came back around instantaneously. Bang, boom, shot. Elephant down, man killed. Wow. Cycle of life, I guess. No remorse. I have absolutely no remorse. In other news, somebody said, I'm glad he died too. I'm not condoning death, but, you know, the damn elephant was on an endangered species list and they just took his life. They are going to get enough of trying to play God. Shoot, I know that's right. In other news, there's so many news stories, baby. We're coming to the top of the hour. There is so much that we need to discuss, so much going on in the world. Please look for alternative media. Look for sources that are directly connected to the incident. Look for the Facebook post. Look for outside sources from the mainstream media. You know what I noticed? I was in South Bay. I'm not going to call names. You know who's in South Bay. And it made me think for a second, everyone in South Bay has a TV commercial. Every single last one of them. Look at South Bay. Think about it. All of them have television commercials. Show me someone in that establishment, in that shopping center, that does not have a TV commercial. Start banking with people that don't have TV commercials. Start buying from people that don't have TV commercials. Start aligning yourself with companies that don't pay lobbyists to change your politician's mind. You change your dollars, and I watch us change the world by the way we spend our dollars. Just watch. Don't believe me. Investigation launched after a Bronx man dies in police custody. Andrew Kearse, 36 years old, died on his way to a police station. The loved ones of Andrew Kearse, again, 36-year-old man from the Bronx, who died in police custody, are seeking justice and closure, according to reports. Kearse was visiting a friend on May 11th when cops pulled him over for driving erratically. The father of 9, who was on parole 15 days earlier, dashed from his car and sprinted away from the officers. He's a black man who just came out of jail, scared to death. The police about to lock his ass right back up. I probably would have ran too. Truth of the matter, if I ever have to go to jail, I will be unfound. Yo, I'm gonna be in somebody's trunk. What football player was that was in the trunk for like 3 days? Boy, you're gonna have to come find me. I honestly do not. I know jail is like all about, you can't break the spirit. You gotta free your mind. Baby, I don't think that is humanly possible for me to be in prison. I would have ran too. After a foot chase, and remember, well, this doesn't really apply, but in the state of Massachusetts, our court has deemed it, it's okay for a black man to run away from police. Like, that does not mean he's guilty. It just means that he is scared of the police. In Massachusetts, I don't know if you know this, but Massachusetts has passed that law that if a black man runs from the police, he's running out of fear, not out of guilt. And I think that is absolutely amazing. We get F's across the board on so many things, but on this, we passed. After a foot chase, he was collared and placed into a patrol car. On the way to the police station, Kearse lost consciousness after complaining of dizziness and difficulty breathing. He was pronounced dead at an area hospital, authorities said. Although he has passed, the mayor blames a medical issue for his death and says that the police had nothing to do with it. So I definitely will be following the story. We're going to follow all the stories as far as the man in Las Vegas who was put in a chokehold, who lost his life. Do you know how many people have died in police custody in 2017 alone? We are nearing the number of 2016, and we haven't even hit June yet. So we're not even at the 6-month mark of 2017, but our numbers are almost hitting the mark of the end of 2016. I want you to, did you know that? Were you mindful of that? Do you know what's going on in your backyard? The question asked, shout out to the Blavidity team. I love every single last thing that they do. Blavidity, BLAVITY, Twitter, Instagram. They have a website. Please visit them. All Black everything. They give news up to date. They filter out the BS to what's really news and what really needs to be covered. I appreciate them. They asked the question, are we in the 18th century? A rich white man sexually assaults a black maid and gets away with it. So this rich white man sexually assaulted a hotel maid and got away with it. His name is Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Dominique Strauss-Kahn. And long story short, he got away with groping a maid. There were 2 maids that came into his room. One was making the bed. One was in the bathroom cleaning the bathroom. The one who was making the bed, he rubbed on her ass and was like, squeezed her butt cheek, was like, I really like this. This is soft. And the maid that was in the bathroom came out and tried to help her make the bed. And as soon as, he moved out of her way, she left. She left the room. And the other woman, was a little bit more aggressive and told him to go sit his ass down somewhere. And he sat down. But now the woman that got groped by this man, can't even talk about it. They both are African immigrants that are working at the hotel, and from what